Hey, good to see you. I am celebrating my 14th year of HRT, and I thought it would be great to give kind of an update or an overview of how things have gone. I'm laughing because I just got off the phone with my 11th doctor. So have really been through the ringer on HRT, and I've tried every single doctor type. I have been to conventional OBGYN. I've been to boutique OBGYN where they do Botox and all types of other things, cool laser sculpting and crazy stuff, which I didn't do any of that. Then I also have gone to a functional medicine doctor and tried out that, which ended up steering me more towards diet and was not helpful actually because I needed estradiol. I needed a higher dose. And then I also went to an alternative medicine doctor who I really respected, and he had some really great insights. But once again, he was going to take me off the HRT and put me on something else. Sorry, my puppy is here and she wants to get involved. She doesn't understand why I'm speaking to a computer, and it doesn't make sense, does it? But anyway, so I thought this was important enough for me to give you an update. So I am ecstatic with my OBGYN and the conventional treatments. I'm using FDA approved conventional treatments off the shelf, so to speak. It is just as safe as any other type of HRT treatment, and it is FDA approved, and so the process is a lot more regulated than what you might get at a compounding pharmacy, where you get the creams created for you. Because the dosing is variable on the FDA products, you also get it customized to you. But you have to push the doctor to the higher doses. It's not common for our doctors to understand how much HRT affects your emotional health. So that's one of the things I communicate strongly to my clients, is that you have to feel your way through this. You are trying to get to your optimal emotional health. And you do that. When you do get to the emotional health piece, you get the physical health piece. This all comes together in you. But you have to have initiative, and you have to really keep pushing the doctor to the limits of HRT. Really, only on the highest dose are you going to get the sleep benefit, full sleep benefit of HRT. All the emotional benefits are at the highest dose. And then the energy level, especially with the testosterone, you've got to get that to a nice dose for you. And there is a wide range of normal, but if you go by your emotional health, you're going to get the optimum out of your HRT without a lot of doctor visits. So to give you a little background, I started HRT at about age 50. I was one of those people that just fell apart during that. I had just moved to a new home, and it was full of fumes. And the doctor told me, keep the doors and windows closed for my son, who is allergic to a lot of his seasonal environment. And so I was locked in there, a full-time mom, and I was locked into this house full of fumes, which also suppresses your hormones. This is like driving you into the ground. You've got to watch your toxin exposure, because even with HRT, you can get driven into the ground. But at this point, I was not on HRT. So I was basically bedridden. So, and here I am today, like, wow, so what a difference HRT has made. I could have been dragging for the last 14 years, but I haven't. I was able to bounce back pretty quickly once we realized it was the hormones were the biggest issue. I did have to work on diet quite a bit. And the reason behind working on diet is pretty simple. When you are menopausal and your periods stop, your little eggs are gone. You don't have any active eggs anymore. And those were the ones generating the hormones for you. So for example, your estradiol was between 80 and 500 picograms per ml during your reproductive cycle, right? So when you're at the 500, you're ovulating and you feel sexy and flirty and happy and go, go, go. And you feel very social and you feel excited and alive, and your perception of things is totally different. And then if you don't, well, you possibly could have sex, you'll be driven to have sex during that because your testosterone is also extremely high. And so your body is all set up with these hormones to make you reproduce. And it makes sense, right? So we're driven to do this. And then when we have our period, the hormones are all dropping down to 80. And that's where PMS is, down around 80. So your worst days as a reproductive age woman is right around 80. And then when you're pregnant, your estrogen levels have to build a human being, and you'll go up to 7,000. So that's how big it is. And then at menopause, when the eggs stop, you're down at 10. You are down at 10. I guarantee you, you don't have to take a test. If you are not ovulating and having a period, you are down near 10. This is 1/20th of the 500, right? So you're at 1/20th of the 500. So estradiol is the gateway to the nutrients, right? So when you're menopausal, your gates are almost closed. What if your doctor said, you're at 1/20th your estradiol, I need you to eat 20 times more food to get the nutrients? Oh my gosh, you'd laugh. You'd be like, oh my God, 20 times more? That can't happen. No, you're right, it can't happen. So what you have to do is you have to learn about nutrient density. You have to learn about inflammatory foods and pull those out, because you want that intestinal environment to be full of nutrition for you. And you are going to feel such a massive bump from nutrition. You start doing green smoothies and you start doing salads, and you take out all the grains and you take out dairy, which is also full of toxins. But you take out the molecules that are just really hard for us to digest. And then you add in some digestive enzymes to your regular food, and you add in fish and liver and things that are easy to digest and just chock full of nutrients. These are overflowing. They're like the fountains of nutrients. So you head in that direction, and you are going to get this burst of energy, this just fabulous burst of energy. So this is something that I discovered just over time. I understand the science now and how it all works. But over time, I knew I had to go gluten-free. I tested it out and I was like, oh my gosh, what a change. It's just because you're swapping out grains and you're putting in 4 or 5 vegetables is what you end up doing, right? You're like, well, what do I eat? So you eat vegetables. And so I kind of migrated over to a super high nutrient dense diet that was going to give me such a boost. And it's all an experiment, right? So you're still trying to learn to cook this new way, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get your nutrients in. And so I was on liver for a long time because that was an easy thing to put into like a puree and make it taste good. So I was on it for quite a while, and then I took a month off and I was like dragging, and I thought, oh my gosh, this stuff is real. I knew I was feeling better, but you're migrating over to these new diets and things as you experiment, and you're trying to find out, what works for you. I mean, you're going to be missing some of those flavors, and you're going to be craving ice cream and things that you can't get anymore. So you want to go ahead and put really good things into your diet. So you're learning a whole bunch about nutrition and about cooking and about how to get things on the table, and also about what your family will also eat, So there's just this massive learning curve for all of us. So over the 14 years, I've gone, from almost standard American diet to gluten-free, dairy-free. That was a really easy one. That was a really easy experiment because I bounced, way up from energy and things. And I thought, okay, so then I moved on to what's called the autoimmune protocol. And don't let that scare you. It's just an elimination diet, which most whole food diets are all elimination diets. There's a ton of commonality in all of the whole food diets, right? But it'll give you a goal for vegetables per day, and it gives you a goal for liver per week, and a goal for fish per week, and some probiotic foods, and some of those things that really make just this massive impact on your nutrition. And all the while, your fiber is also going way, way up. Fiber is another nutrient. So you'll see a lot of people will end up on vegetarian or vegan. I certainly did not even head that way at all. I really need the nutrients that are easy to absorb, although I use some nutrient helpers, some enzymes, and I use some HCl and some ox bile. So really critical to add those things if you need those. So I found my vitality during this 14-year span. My HRT was pretty much at a normal dose for the first 5 years. And I don't even remember if we bumped the dose. I don't even remember. I was feeling good. I was working. I was playing with my kids, and I was happy. My mood did not deteriorate. It just bounced right back. Then we got an assignment to go to Santiago, Chile, and try out a brand new world, bring the kids, get exposure to Spanish and to a brand new culture. And it was a great opportunity for my husband. And we thought that it would be good for the kids. We had both traveled internationally and lived internationally before this. So we thought this would be, we were hoping it would not be too disruptive. It was. But overall, it was good for the kids. They do say they have a much broader worldview now. They're much more compassionate with others and understanding that people are different. So I went down there, and I did not speak Spanish. And I went to a German hospital because there's a really established German community in Santiago, and the doctors there spoke English. So I was able to work with a doctor there and get my HRT reestablished. And what they do there is they let you dose as high as you want. They do not worry at all about your HRT. They're not trying to limit you to the lowest possible dose. They're not trying to take it away from you when you reach a certain age. They're saying, here's a pump, here's a big bottle of estrogen, estradiol, and dose so that you can go to sleep. So just you feel your way through this. You do what is going to make you feel good and get that healthy, wonderful, refreshing sleep. And so when I did that, man, all my pain was gone. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel 10 years younger. I'm getting enough estradiol and unlimited. The other thing that's funny, and you'll laugh, because we have to get refills all the time, and we have to go back to our doctor after a certain point to get refills and things. And down there, you get one prescription, you hand it over to the pharmacist, and then you just keep going back to the pharmacist and say, I'm ready for some more. So it was never the scarcity type of approach that we're doing right now in America, where everything is, 30 days of this, and it's just, they're making it so inconvenient. It's crazy. Other countries don't do this, and they don't limit to you. They know how good it is for your overall systems. And you'll see this, it's really interesting because the International Menopause Society, which has a lot of English-speaking countries in it, and then some other countries in it, is so progressive compared to the North American Menopause Society. In fact, my very first doctor, the reason I got the HRT early is he was European. He was British born, He was following the International Menopause Society. He didn't blink when I said, I am losing myself. I am losing my life. I have pain. I really explained my symptoms, and he said, some people just need hormones, and problem solved. He did not make it difficult. I did not have to jump through hoops. And then when I went to Chile, I did not have to jump through hoops. And then when I came back to the States, I had to jump through hoops. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So I came back to the States and I went just to an OBGYN. I did notice she was so self-centered that like during my vaginal exam, she's like looking and she's talking about her workout routine, and she's telling me how happy she is at her gym and all this stuff, and not asking me how am I doing. I mean, I counted 159 symptoms of menopause when I started to like list everything as I was going through my studies. And I was like, she's not asking me anything. She doesn't care what my dose is. She doesn't care if I'm covered. I mean, it was just shocking. And I kind of stuck with that for a little bit. She also did not want to give me testosterone. And so my pain came back. So I had to switch doctors. And then I started studying hormones. Then I was back in university level coursework, and I was figuring it all out and figuring out this massive role. And I was keeping a running list of 100 things that hormones do. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just covering all the bases. Holy smoke. And then when 2020 hit, right? So we're in lockdown, and I have full access to our university libraries. And so I can get anything I want free, which is crazy because it's like $40 a research paper normally. So I went into, mad hunting to figure out, okay, so what do I need to do with my HRT dose to get coverage for COVID? What will give me a young immune profile? So that I knew that my diet would do it. I knew that infrared therapy would do it. I knew that my low dose naltrexone would do it, because those are all used across the autoimmune system and cancer, and they're really, really effective at fine-tuning your system. But what would my HRT do? And to get that information, I just dug for months, and it was just running through all these smaller studies and getting the last few years of information about what HRT is doing. And I found early evidence that they were using HRT in clinical trials for COVID-19. So they were waiting for you to get into the hospital, and once you were there, they were giving you HRT, men and women, both. And I was like, okay, so someone suspects that this is really important, that this is critical, that this might rescue you from COVID-19. So that got me really going. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to really get this all down and put it into some videos and get a course going. And I'm actually writing a book right now. So that's kind of the background of all this information. But what I did, based on that early summer 2020, I found a way to get my estradiol dose quadrupled. 4 times the amount. I decided I'm going to the very top dose. There is no evidence that you can use a small dose and get immune protection. That's not fair. I'm doing the product. I'm buying the product every month. Why am I not protected? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I went ahead and made my case and got the higher dose, even though my doctor, in this same session, she is telling me, I don't want you to be on hormones. I really don't believe in these things. And I'm like, okay, document. International Menopause Society says yes. This document says they're using it in clinical trial for COVID-19. I got a pandemic here. What do you want me to do? This is not going to hurt me. I am replenishing hormones that I once had. This is the exact same molecule. I'm not using the bad products. Bad, you know what I'm saying. the inferior products. We let inferior products on the market, and we let them exist, and they're cheaper and maybe more convenient, like taking an oral pill might be more convenient, but it just doesn't give you all the benefits. You're leaving stuff on the table if you use those types of products. So, I even dug deep and went into the clinical trials on different types of products and looked at their results. And so I could see such a difference on the higher doses. On the higher doses, they're not having any urinary tract infections. So that tells you how it is managing infection. So I got really energized and got my dose up, and then I noticed, wow, I am so resilient. My personality is just really in a good space. And I wasn't afraid to increase my testosterone, even though she was very much a minimalist on whether or not I even used testosterone. So I also have other information that has come out in 2021. I've done an entire review. I went back and dug back in about April 2021 to try and get the update on testosterone. There is one. There's a massive update on all the different elements of your body that testosterone is helping. But one thing it really does help, and this will make you laugh, is its confidence. And if you look at women past menopause who are not doing HRT, you will see the missing confidence. You will see women that have had their entire careers be successful, and then they don't believe in themselves anymore. And then they're falling by the wayside, They're stepping back at work. They're leaning backwards. They're not in their lives anymore. They're held back by not having this hormone that totally prepares you to be confident and social and connected. Testosterone is just this massive positivity boost. It is all about how upbeat you are. And women need 3 times as much testosterone as estradiol. And estradiol does 80 different things in the body. It is massive. Testosterone does at least 20 really, really well, and nothing else works instead of testosterone, and nothing else works instead of estradiol, right? So these things are a part of our bodies that are gone at menopause. And so it's up to us to restore them. And then what I found through these last 11 doctors is that there's going to be a lot of variability in how much they're going to give you, right? So you have to go in prepared. I go in with research all the time, and I also go in with my history, and I bring in the last prescription that I had. So I have the box. I use a patch for my estradiol. I find it's really reliable for me. I'm able to keep the patch on twice a week and switch it out, and I'm not losing any days without estradiol coverage. I use a man's pump for the gel for testosterone, and I use a micronized progesterone, which is highly effective. And then also a topical progesterone on my face, because the dermatologists are telling me this is really going to help my skin. It's going to help keep it young and keep it proliferating. You know how your skin kind of deadens? It's really slowing down. It's not as fresh. It's not as rosy, and this is all helping me there. I also use it to kind of relax the muscles on my face, because a lot of those fine lines and things are coming from the tension in your body that's caused by low progesterone. So there's another benefit there. So that's been the 14 years. I'm heading into my 11th doctor in a week, and I'm heading into my 64th year. And I'm very upbeat, happy with my results. I'm sure I'm going to get through to this doctor. I don't have any background on what she prefers as far as prescribing. I don't have any background, but I assume I can change her. I have a special 2-pager that I've used, and I've talked about this in another video. The 2-pager is called You're My Everything Doctor, and it lists all the different doctor types that she has to play this role for me. I don't have an Alzheimer's doctor. You, my OBGYN, you are my Alzheimer's prevention doctor. HRT decreases my risk of Alzheimer's by 30%. And there are no drugs that do that. There are no drugs that do that. There are 50 failed drugs out there for Alzheimer's. Nothing is going to work like HRT, nutrition, movement. Nothing is going to work like that. I am cheating the system. Yes, I'm putting my hormones back in, but I don't want to be the Alzheimer's lady that's making my kids nuts, making my kids sad. Oh my God, I don't want to be that person. So I'm not going to be that person. I figured out the formula, and you can too. There's no reason for you to have dementia. There is no reason at all. You're a capable person. You've got the information now, and you just have to execute and get at it. It's just like any other project that you've done before, right? You're going to keep track of your symptoms. You're going to bring those into the doctor. You're going to dose up until all those symptoms are gone. There's just no reason for you to have pain. There is no reason for you to have any hot flashes. Zero. They have to be gone. Those hot flashes are an indicator that you are going to have some brain damage. I need you to make sure you get rid of those right away, as soon as possible. Start your HRT when you're on your periods in perimenopause. I need you to get on it right then because the damage is starting. I've got a set of brain scans. It's a special kind of a PET scan type of a thing. So it shows the energy in your brain and how it is degrading over perimenopause and menopause. So you want to get on this right away and you want to work on it. But working with your doctor, go ahead and print off in the initial HRT appointment guide, print off those 2 pages that tell your doctor all the different doctors that she is playing, all the different roles that she will play for you. And it is everything. She is your Alzheimer's doctor, your sexual health doctor, your obesity doctor, your OBGYN. She's your autoimmune doctor because it reduces all the triggers of autoimmune. HRT will take care of all of this. So even if you have an autoimmune disease, you do not get another because you have the HRT taken care of. She is your bone doctor. Half of women will end up with osteoporosis. They will all be hunched over. They will be broken. They will have trouble breathing. They will be hospitalized. Half of women over 50 have already started down the osteoporosis path. We don't need to be that woman. We can rewind. We need to rewind. We need to get the HRT, do prevention, tighten up the diet, get those nutrients into your body, tighten up all the loose ends, stay away from toxins because those are like interfering with your HRT. So you don't want to be out in the garden doing pesticides and herbicides. No, you do not want to be doing that. You don't want to be in a job that exposes you to chemicals. If you're cleaning, you want to be using vinegar and water as much as possible. You want to air out your house. You want outdoor air. You don't want all that indoor air and all those fumes, right? Because that's competing. It's competing with your HRT. So all of this benefit, all the excitement that I have is because I am protected. I am guaranteed to have a really wonderful life for the next 40 years. I'm active. I do 60 minutes of exercise every day. I eat well, and I'm here to love my husband and love my kids through their 20s. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice to be there for them. And starting a 3rd career as a health and wellness coach. So really helping people. There's so much happiness and joy in my life. It's just, this is what I want for you. This is what I want for you. And it's pretty simple. So come to me for coaching if you need some motivation or you need some additional education. That's what I do. And I love to see women bouncing back within a couple weeks. It just almost always happens within 2 weeks. So I'm really happy to help you and get you on your way. So take care. Happy 14 years of HRT. See you.